Root to Fruit is making ideas grow.
Root to Fruit is helping people.
Root to Fruit is that sudden answer to the question, where is the money coming from?
When you are a small nonprofit organization, you spend your time meeting the needs of a community. You're continually out there feeding the poor or working with the children. You're always at immediate. So it's hard to build capacity when you're always out there pouring out of the well. You don't have time to go back and to replenish yourself. The Root to Fruit initiative actually gives the small nonprofit a well to go back to, where they can be filled and they can grow.
Most funders will only fund a project. They'll only fund, serving 20 kids in a daycare program or 100 senior citizens in a meal program. And most funders don't recognize that in order to do those things, programs have to have decent computer systems, they have to have software, they have to have accounting programs, they have to have marketing materials. All those things are necessary, and Root to Fruit is a place that'll fund those types of things.
The purpose of the grant is basically to take more or less fledgling organizations and bring them to a higher plateau of sustainability. And that's what we see that's happening for Musical Offering right now. We're very much a community-oriented music school, all ages, all skill levels. We offer music instruction, piano, voice, strings, as well as various children's classes, including a children's choir. One of the positives about the Root to Fruit process is the networking, share pains, share victories, that whole kind of shared experience of nonprofits, especially nonprofits that are relatively young.
It's really to help the little guy with the big idea. Grassroots organizations get overlooked by large foundations, and I think little guys are doing good things.
City Sprouts has been a grantee of Root to Fruit for 3 years now, and it has been a wonderful experience. It helped us to grow some legs and get some things done. So the biggest impact that Root to Fruit made was giving that foundation, that base, even if we didn't do things quite right the first year, that we could still meet those goals and objectives and still get that funding to change and go for it the next year, as well as lean on the support of the people on the board and the other Root to Fruit grantees who had already been in stage 1 or stage 2 and knew how to facilitate those waters.
It's marvelous for the Community Foundation. It's really added new dimensions to our grant making. It's allowed us to think about the possibilities of working with other partners in new ways that we hadn't thought of before. We're a pretty young, pretty new foundation, and it's a wonderful thing, I think, for the family to have an opportunity to work together with people. It's not just the money. It's never just the money with Root to Fruit.
The grantees that gets the money, but I believe in building peer alliances and building kind of the Root to Fruit family, which we are gaining more and more family members every year. And I've started to call it family because we really help each other out. We have a board that mentors, and we have meetings, and we visit each site, and we figure out what's going on in the community.
They also benefit when we do group meetings on a quarterly basis. They get an opportunity to share what's been going on with the other organizations, as well as hear what the other organizations have been going on. And it's interesting when we sit in our sessions to hear the amount of resources that are tossed back and forth.
I think that it helps Root to Fruit grantees by having our grant cycle be for 3 years. They can really make better plans and a better long-term plan.
To start the Root to Fruit program in a new community, I would say that it requires a couple of things. Of course, it requires the financial assets. You've got to have enough money to make the distributions. And because that's going to be part of the gasoline that those agencies need to speed up their growth. And it requires someone, whether it's the founding person, donor of the foundation, or the next generation, who cares about the community.
I love it. I enjoy volunteering with the organization. I think it's a great partnership between the Evanston Community Foundation and the Mammel Foundation from Omaha. I've learned a lot. I've been exposed to a lot, and I definitely, look forward to working with them in the future.
And the Root to Fruit initiative allows me the greatest blessing of letting people's voice be heard and letting their dreams come true. It's like allowing someone to be grounded but letting them reach for the stars, and I can't think of a better position to be in.
Root to Fruit has enabled the Florence Futures Group to open up the historic sites of the Florence neighborhood that were previously closed. And we think that opening the historical sites will benefit Florence economically and help Florence to live up to its reputation as the historic entrance to Omaha. The writer David Bristow came into the story. The sites that are open are the Florence Mill, the 1856 Wildcat Bank, and the Florence Depot. Root to Fruit enables us to staff these sites because nobody donates to history.
Soul Creations, we're a nonprofit 501c3 educational organization, and our mission is to empower, educate, and validate youth through the process of self-discovery. A program that's designed to teach about life skills like respect, responsibility, creative expression, and cultural awareness through West African drum and dance and narration. It's a 7 to 8 week program. We meet after school 3 times a week for about 90 minutes to 2 hours, and we're actually teaching them rhythms and songs and dances from different parts of the world, primarily from West Africa. And through that process, they're learning about teamwork and sacrifice and self-discipline. So they're actually learning, they're having to put these life skills into place to successfully come together as a group and have a final performance. And we've always collaborated with other organizations, but this is a bit more official. So we actually sit down, we discuss and share ideas, and yes, it can't help but to be helpful because we're all trying to do the same thing in different ways, but more heads are better than one, without a doubt. Yeah.